bravery never wavers, even in the fire.
Welcome to Fairy Tales English Journey, where magic meets learning. Today we will explore a beautiful and sad story about love and bravery. Have you ever felt different from everyone else but stayed strong anyway? This is the story of a very special toy who teaches us about true courage today. Learning English through classic stories helps you understand new words and feelings. The tale of the Steadfast Tin Soldier was written by Hans Christian Andersen many years ago. It remains one of his most famous creations. As we listen to this adventure, try to pay attention to the wonderful vocabulary words. Our story begins in a bright playroom filled with amazing toys. A young boy received a wonderful birthday gift inside a wooden box. The box contained 25 shiny tin soldiers. They were all brothers because they were made from the exact same old tin spoon many years before this very day. Each soldier looked exactly like the others in their splendid uniforms. They wore bright red and blue coats while holding their rifles tightly. They all stared straight ahead with proud and brave faces ready for action. However, there was one single special soldier who was quite different from the rest of them. This last soldier was the final one to be melted and formed. The toy maker had run out of tin before finishing his leg. Therefore, this brave little soldier stood firmly on only one single leg. Despite this missing piece, he stood just as tall and proud as his brothers did. When the boy opened the box, he clapped his hands in joy. He placed the soldiers on a large table covered with many playthings. The one-legged soldier looked around the table to see his surroundings. The most beautiful toy was a wonderful paper castle with tiny clear glass windows inside. In front of the paper castle was a lovely little mirror lake. Small wax swans swam on the mirror and reflected brightly in it. But the prettiest sight was a tiny lady standing by the castle door. She was cut from fine paper and wore a lovely skirt of clear muslin. A narrow blue ribbon was draped over her shoulders like a scarf. In the middle of this ribbon shone a sparkling, bright, shiny sequin. The little lady was a dancer with both her arms stretched outward. She also had one leg raised so high it was completely hidden away today. The tin soldier saw her and thought she only had one leg. He believed she was just like him and felt a sudden connection. He decided she would make the perfect wife for a humble soldier. However, he worried that she was too grand living in a beautiful paper castle alone. He lived in a simple wooden box with 24 noisy brothers. It was certainly not a proper place for such an elegant dancer. Still, he could not stop looking at her lovely and graceful face. He hid behind a small box to watch her without being seen at all today. When evening came, the other tin soldiers were placed in their box. The people in the house went to bed and the room darkened. Then the toys began to play their own games on the table. They played visiting games and fought pretend battles in the quiet, dark room together. The tin soldiers rattled inside their box because they wanted to join. They could not lift the heavy wooden lid to get out outside. The nutcracker turned somersaults and the chalk drew lines on the slate. The noise was so loud that the pet canary woke up singing loudly today. Only 2 toys remained perfectly still during all this wild, noisy fun. The tin soldier stood firmly on his one leg watching the dancer. The little paper dancer stood on her toes with both arms outstretched. They never took their eyes off each other throughout the long, dark night hours. Suddenly the clock struck midnight and the lid of a box opened. It was not a normal box, but a trick box containing magic. A little black goblin popped out of the box with a spring. He looked directly at the tin soldier with a very mean, dark smile today. The goblin told the tin soldier to keep his eyes to himself, but the brave soldier pretended not to hear the nasty little creature. The goblin warned him to wait until morning to see what happens. The soldier remained steadfast and continued to admire the beautiful paper dancer silently there. When morning arrived, the children woke up and returned to the playroom. They placed the one-legged tin soldier right on the window ledge. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew through the open glass window. The tin soldier fell headfirst from the third story to the street far below. It was a terrible fall that made his little tin head spin. He landed upside down with his helmet stuck between two paving stones. His one leg pointed straight up into the damp and cloudy sky. The little boy and his servant ran down to search for him everywhere today. They looked everywhere, but they could not spot the tiny hidden soldier. They almost stepped on him but still failed to see his uniform. If the soldier had shouted, they would have easily found him there. But he thought it was improper to shout while in his military uniform today. Soon, dark rain clouds gathered and a heavy downpour suddenly began falling. Large drops of water splashed fiercely against the cold stone street below. After the heavy rain stopped, two young boys came walking down the street. They noticed the tiny tin soldier stuck firmly between the wet stones there. One boy suggested they make a paper boat for the tin soldier. They folded an old newspaper into a small and fragile little boat. They placed the brave soldier right in the middle of the paper. The boat floated away down the deep gutter filled with rushing water streams today. The two boys ran alongside the moving boat, clapping their hands loudly. The water current was very strong from the heavy morning rainstorm. The paper boat tossed up and down as it sailed along quickly. Sometimes it whirled around so fast, the soldier felt quite dizzy inside it today. Despite the terrifying ride, the soldier remained as steadfast as ever before. He did not change his brave expression or drop his heavy rifle. He kept his eyes looking straight forward while standing on one leg. Soon the boat rushed into a dark tunnel under the city streets alone today. The tunnel was as dark as the inside of his wooden box. He wondered where the rushing water was taking him in this darkness. He blamed the nasty goblin for causing all this terrible bad luck. He wished the beautiful paper dancer was sitting next to him there inside today. If she were with him, he would not mind the frightening darkness. Suddenly, a large water rat appeared from the shadows of the tunnel. The rat lived in the damp drain and demanded to see a passport. The brave soldier stayed completely silent and held his rifle very tightly today. The paper boat rushed forward while the angry rat chased behind it. The rat gnashed its teeth and shouted at the passing wooden sticks. It yelled that the soldier had not paid the proper toll fee. But the strong current carried the tiny boat faster than the rat could swim today. The soldier finally saw a bright light at the end of the tunnel. He thought his dangerous journey through the dark drain was almost over. But then he heard a roaring sound that would terrify any person. The drain emptied directly into a massive and powerful deep canal waterway today. Plunging into this canal was like falling over a giant waterfall. The boat shot out of the tunnel and spun wildly around completely. The poor paper boat filled with cold water and began to sink. The water reached the soldier up to his neck as the paper tore apart today. As the boat sank deeper, the soldier thought of the beautiful dancer. He knew he would never see her lovely face ever again now. A sad song echoed in his mind about facing death with bravery. The paper completely ripped, and the brave soldier sank into the water below today. Just as he sank, a large fish swam by and swallowed him. It was incredibly dark inside the belly of the giant hungry fish. It was even darker than the tunnel, and much more confined, too. But the tin soldier remained steadfast and held his rifle tightly still there. The fish darted wildly around the canal, making quick and sudden turns. Then it became completely still, and a flash of light appeared suddenly. Someone shouted out loud that they had found the lost tin soldier. The fish had been caught and taken to the busy marketplace nearby. A cook bought the fish and took it to a warm kitchen. She sliced the fish open with a large and very sharp knife. She picked up the tin soldier, holding him by his metal waist. She carried him into the living room for everyone to clearly see today there. Everyone wanted to see this remarkable traveler who came from a fish. But the tin soldier was not proud of his strange new fame. They placed him on the table and he looked around the room. He realized he was in the exact same room from before today magically returned. He saw the same children and the same toys on the table. He saw the beautiful paper castle with the lovely dancer outside it. She was still standing on one leg with her arms stretched out. She had remained steadfast, just like the brave little tin soldier had done today. The soldier was so deeply moved he almost cried tears of tin. But he knew that crying was not proper for a brave soldier. He simply looked at her and she looked right back at him. They did not speak a single word to each other at all today, silently. Suddenly, one of the little boys grabbed the poor tin soldier tightly. Without giving any reason, he threw the soldier directly into the stove. The naughty goblin in the box must have made him do it. The tin soldier stood in the flames, feeling a terrible burning heat inside there. The heat was absolutely fierce, but he did not lose his courage. He was not sure if the fire or his love was burning. The bright colors of his uniform had faded from his long journey. He stood firmly on his one leg, holding his heavy metal rifle today bravely. He looked at the little dancer and she looked back at him. He felt himself melting away into a small puddle of liquid tin. But he remained steadfast and kept his proud and brave military posture. Suddenly, a door opened and a strong draft of wind blew inside quickly there. The wind caught the tiny paper dancer and lifted her gently upward. She flew like a graceful fairy directly into the burning hot stove. She landed right beside the melting tin soldier in the bright fire. She instantly vanished in a brilliant flash of sudden hot, bright flames today forever. The tin soldier quickly melted down into a small lump of metal. The very next morning, the maid cleaned the ashes from the stove. She found his remains shaped exactly like a tiny solid tin heart. Of the beautiful paper dancer, only her shiny sequin remained completely unburned there today. The sparkling sequin had been burned until it was as black as coal. This marks the sad end of the steadfast little tin soldier. However, his story lives on to teach us about true lasting bravery. Let us now explore the important lessons hidden within this classic tale today together. The word steadfast means being very loyal and never giving up easily. The tin soldier showed this quality throughout his many dangerous dark trials. He never complained about having only one leg or being completely different. He accepted himself and remained proud of who he truly was inside, always today. When we learn English, we can use the word steadfast for heroes. A hero is someone who stays strong when things become very difficult. The soldier faced a terrible fall and a dark, rushing drainpipe. He also faced a scary rat and a giant hungry fish bravely today together. Through all these dangers, he never dropped his heavy metal toy rifle. This teaches us that we should hold on to our values and duties. Even when life pushes us into unknown places, we must stay strong. We must keep looking forward, just like the brave little tin soldier did today. The paper dancer represents another kind of amazing and quiet inner strength. She balanced perfectly on one leg without ever falling or giving up. The soldier admired her because they shared this unique and special balance. Love in this story is about finding someone who truly understands you completely today. The goblin shows us that some people might try to discourage us. He tried to make the soldier feel bad about his missing leg. But ignoring negative voices is a great way to protect your heart. The soldier focused on the beautiful dancer instead of the mean goblin today there. When the soldier melted, his body formed the shape of a heart. This beautiful symbol proves that true love and bravery can survive anything. Even though his physical form was destroyed, his loving spirit remained forever. His steadfast nature transformed a simple piece of tin into pure love today forever. The black sequin from the dancer is also a very powerful symbol. It shows that she too remained completely steadfast until the very end. They were united in the fire, sharing the exact same tragic fate. Their story teaches us that true connection is stronger than any fire today forever. Learning these English words will help you express your own deep feelings. Words like steadfast and graceful are excellent additions to your growing vocabulary. When you describe a brave person, you can remember the tin soldier. You can use these wonderful words in your daily conversations at school today easily. Thank you for joining us on another magical fairy tales English journey. We hope you enjoyed learning about the brave one-legged tin soldier. His steadfast heart reminds us all to be brave and love deeply. Please share this beautiful story with your friends and family members today together right now. Remember to practice your new English vocabulary words every single day. If you want to hear more wonderful stories, please subscribe to us. Leave a comment below telling us what makes you feel brave inside. Until next time, keep learning and keep believing in magical fairy tales forever today.